So how do you determine that now when there's so many people living up there, all year round? How do you know what I mean? Like, he wants to offer a home office only for phone calls for construction roofing, right? And
Yep.
did his application determine that he lives there all year round?
Councillor Brumfield.
Well, up there, we're approving all these applications here for these places up there. We know that people have been living up there for years, and years is over 10 years. And we also know that I think the 11th Council came with some kind of special thing for rebate for property or cottages and those who didn't have it as their permanent residence. I think now if you're going to, because we have people here also complaining about who live up there, they want us to put in water and sewer now, right? So I mean,
And
I don't think
precedent
we
is
can pick and choose who we're going
No,
to, really.
it's set. I mean, people have been living there for years. And
Oh, yeah,
they,
no,
they came
I
a couple months ago.
I totally agree.
Whatever.
I just, I just want to make sure that is resource, can you put a business in the resource, a home-based business, is that accepted or is it discretionary? That was my question. I don't know. Can you answer that now or?
Well, actually, Mayor, it is a discretionary use.
Okay. Yep. So discretionary use would mean we, do we have to advertise it though?
To my knowledge, it's been advertised
Okay, with no objection.
with no objection.
Yep, just gonna go to the CAO for a quick sec.
Sorry, just one update, council, that we are definitely live streaming at the moment.
Okay, that's fine. Did you have your councillor?
Yeah, just a couple of comments. I think where I struggle is with the fact that I have to commend anybody who comes forward and applies for a home-based business, because that's what we encourage people to do, is, the other scenario, and neither one being correct, but the other scenario is that somebody actually operates a home-based business and doesn't come to the town and doesn't apply for a permit and goes ahead and does it anyway. I've just been looking at the application and there may be some confusion. I'm not sure. It doesn't indicate necessarily that this is primary residence.
Yes, it
because
does.
what it says is,
Does at least one employee normally inhibit the,
oh, okay, because
It
of
says
the
yes.
way I read it, it said property address where discretionary land use will be located if different from the applicant's address.
if you come down to
So,
section 3.
Okay.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess the fact that somebody has, like I said, taken the initiative to apply, our world is changing and people are able to work basically from everywhere and anywhere. I've driven around town and I've seen vehicles, and I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, vehicles with the Starlink antennas on the top of the vehicles. Basically, the world is changing and people will work wherever they will work. And I don't know, I guess I'm not saying I agree with or disagree with any of this, but I think the enforcement side of it, the policing side of it, if we say to somebody, this is a recreational cottage, this is not supposed to be used as a primary address, but then, if somebody spends 3 days a week, or if somebody's on a work camp rotation and they spend 2 weeks in a work camp and 2 weeks at their cottage when they're home, at what point do we determine that this is your residence? So I just think that it's very difficult. So my decision will be based on the fact that somebody has actually gone through the proper channels to, apply for a home-based business, when really, did they, could they have operated this without our knowledge?
Yep.
Absolutely.
So is there anybody else that wants to bring something else to the table on this
Well, I
one?
was just gonna say, and it's not like a full-blown business, it's a home office, phone, fax business.
Yeah.
So,
The dangerous thing is you always got to watch for precedent, right? So I mean,
Absolutely.
this person is, but if it is a discretionary use, and it is, and there hasn't been, any contrary-minded information come, it's been posted. So it's like any other home-based business that we're going to do within town. I just think that, it's going to be difficult to be able to change what's happening up in that particular area of town. And I mean, it's been allowed to grow, and, if this is a resource, is a discretionary use, which it is, we have to decide here this evening. So. Any further discussion, Deputy Mayor?
I think with this one in particular, I mean, and you'd look at each one individually, but this one, because of the nature of the business, like Councillor Compton-Hobbs said, because it's a home office, it might be a phone, it might be working on a computer, very minimal impact outside the home. And then going forward, Councillor Pomeroy, you're correct in that it is an area that's not even supposed to be a primary residence area, but these applications have been coming forward for the last few years, and we've been approving them. So with this one, I think just each, and if there is any that come further to today, that we look at these individually, but I have no issue with the home office being there,
'Kay.
same as you have your phone.
Yep. Anybody else have anything you want to add to discussion? Councillor Winters?
Yeah, I'd just like to chime in and say that, the issue is with people that are living up there full-time, and that is not what we're gonna fix here tonight. And I think that regards, or that we need further discussion on that, and how it's gonna, on how we're gonna proceed, whether it's rezoning or whatever, but definitely because this is brought up, because we know people are living up there full-time, this is definitely something that we have to look into in the future.
Thank you. Okay, all those in favor of approving the motion indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Okay, please note Councillor Pomeroy. All right, next one, please.
My final recommendation this evening, appeal Fahey Building Limited. The Community Planning and Development Committee recommends council reconsider the application, ensuring that the concerns noted in the adjudicator's decision are properly addressed.
Okay, moved by Councillor Rumbold and the CPD committee that we reconsider the application, ensuring the concerns noted in the adjudicator's decision are properly addressed. Seconded by Councillor Winters. Discussion. Councillor Rumbold.
Just to clarify a little bit further, there was an appeal of a decision for a discretionary land use. There is no way that council was found in fault of anything, but there was a recommendation that we reconsider an application. Again, we did follow all due process, but the recommendation was that we reconsider. So, considering that we did everything correct the first time, and that we did have extensive discussion, and we did determine that, an appeal that finds in that manner would be it would be the right thing to do, would be to follow the recommendation. So that's what we're doing. But again, there were concerns noted, but there was no wrongdoing by the town. We did follow every policy, and everything that we needed to do was done.
Okay, any other discussion? So just to be clear, this is the application that was filed in reference to an assisted living facility on Hamlet River Road at the or I guess in the proximity of the Labrador Inn. And yeah, to reiterate, the adjudicator in the appeal, I guess technically wanted us to reconsider, because the adjudicator felt that there was a couple of things there that weren't, I guess, followed correctly, even though, in council's opinion, things were. So we're going to, the process here is to reconsider the application, start from scratch, and do the process again. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor of reconsidering the application indicate with aye.
Aye.
Contrary-minded? Passed.
And that's everything for me.
Thank you very much. Okay, so let's go into community service recreation. And I'll pass the floor over to my friend to the left here, Councillor Winters.
Thank you, Mayor. The Community Service and Recreation Committee met on Tuesday, December 10th. It was scheduled for 2:45, but as it was a committee of the whole, Meeting didn't start until 6:33 p.m. Present were Chair Councillor Todd Winters, Deputy Mayor Ella Wallace, Mayor George Andrews as ex officio, CEO Nadine McCauley, Director of CSR Dominic Demers, and Executive Assistant Kathy Eddy. Regrets, Councillor Jackie Compton-Hobbs. The first was approval of the agenda. There was no additions. Presentation and delegations, there were no delegations. Review of previous minutes and action items, there were no errors or omissions. Action items update were reviewed and updates noted. The only update regarding the current action items is that there was a meeting scheduled with the Curling Club Executive in January with the CSR Committee, and there was only one item under new business. There was only one item, that being the Heart of Labrador 50 Plus Club letter requesting access to the town's wellness center. As the letter refers to assistance with the 50 Plus Club access to the facility, due to the management structure and agreements currently in place with the town, council have no authority regarding access to the facility, as that falls under the facilities management, the YMCA. This item will be placed on the January monthly agenda of the Community Engagement Committee meeting with the YMCA. The committee requested that a letter be prepared by the CSR Director to the 50 Plus Club acknowledging receipt and provide a response regarding discussions of the committee. No further business. Next meeting is scheduled, is to be determined, and there being no further business, meeting adjourned at 6:57, and I have no recommendations, but I do have one note from the CEO, which the town is looking for volunteers for its winter carnival. If you're interested in working with the winter carnival and the planning and the execution, please contact the EA, Kathy Eddy, at ea@town@hvbg.com. We need people to come out and make this a successful event.
Okay, thank you, sir. So it's been moved by Councillor Winters that we accept the Community Service and Recreation Committee report as presented. Seconded by Councillor, everybody? Well, I saw Councillor Rumbo first. Yeah, well, I used to that.
Good report.
Yeah, yeah, good report. Yeah. Any discussion on the report? Okay, none being heard. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed. And yes, let's get the good winter carnivals back in place like we used to have to. So step forward and offer some time if you have some. We will definitely have snow by that time. All right, so let's move on to Finance and Minimum Policy. And I will pass the floor over to the chair.
Okay,
Councillor
thank you, Your Worship.
Brumfield. Yep.
The Finance Administration Policy Committee met on Tuesday, December the 10th, 2024 at 4:45 as part of the Committee of the Whole, which we all met at. Present for us was myself in the chair, Councillor Bert Pomeroy, Deputy Mayor Ella Wallace, Mayor George Andrews, CAO Nadine McCauley, DFO Mike Dalmont, and Executive Assistant Kathy Eddy. And regrets were from SAT Valerie Pye. The meeting was called to order at 7 p.m. and the whole meeting, we only had one item to discuss. Every December, usually the Finance Administration Committee will review our donations to date, and we had some funds left over. So as you've seen tonight, we made a couple of check presentations. So I have some recommendations on those here this evening, and other than that, that was all we discussed on this one here. And the next meeting is to be determined, and we adjourned at 7:21. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So it's moved by Councillor Brumfield that we accept the Finance and Minimum Policy Committee report as presented. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Wallace. Any discussion? None being heard. All those in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed. Your recommendation, sir?
Okay, we'll have two recommendations. The first one, the Labrador Friendship Center Food Bank donation. The FAP Committee recommends Council approve a monetary donation to the Labrador Friendship Center Food Bank in the amount of $5,000.
Okay, moved by Councillor Brumfield and the FAP Committee that Council approve a monetary donation to the Friendship Center's Food Bank in the amount of $5,000. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Wallace. Discussion? All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed. Next one, sir?
Next one is the Giving Assistance Partnership Services donation, which is generally referred to as GATS. The FAP Committee recommends Council approve a monetary donation to Giving Assistance Partnership Services, GAPS, in the amount of $1,786.65.
Okay, it's been moved by Councillor Brumfield that we approve a monetary donation to the GAPS program through the Ministerial Association in the amount of $1,786.65. Seconded by
I'll second that.
Councillor Compton Hobbs, seconded. All those in, our discussion, sorry? And just why the weird amount is that was the balance of the balance in the donation budget account, and that's why it was a strange amount. All those in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed. Thank you, sir. All right, we move into Municipal Services Committee, and I'll pass the floor to Councillor Palmer.
Thank you, Mayor. Municipal Services Committee met during the Committee of the Whole on December 10th. Committee members present were myself as chair, Deputy Mayor Ella Wallace, and Councillor Hayward Broomfield. Mayor Andrews there as ex officio, CAO Nadine McCauley, Director of Engineering Randy Dillon, and Executive Assistant Kathy Eddy, who took the minutes. The meeting was called to order at 7:23 p.m. There was no new business to discuss. However, Mr. Dillon provided several updates from the engineering department, including a correspondence that we received from Mr. Yetman that the mayor referenced earlier on in the meeting. Mr. Dillon noted that no immediate action is required, that he's been addressing this matter for quite some time, and will prepare a response letter to Mr. Yetman as requested by the committee. Mr. Dillon also added that the outstanding deficiencies at the YMCA are being addressed, and he will provide a detailed list of these deficiencies early in the new year. And finally, he noted that he would have revised multi-year capital work schedule for approval at today's meeting, so there are a number of recommendations coming forward on that. With no further discussion, the meeting was adjourned at 7:34 p.m.
Thank you, sir. So it's moved by Councillor Pomeroy that we accept the Municipal Services Committee as presented. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Wallace. Discussion. Okay, none being heard. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed. You have numerous recommendations, sir.
Yes, just a little point of order, Your Worship. There was a motion of council that I believe the Chair of Finance was to present previously. Did we want to do that now, or would you want to wait till after we go through all of my recommendations?
Okay, we can do it now. I didn't see it in the agenda.
Yeah, it was Building Canada Fund,
Oh.
Community Canada Building Fund.
Okay, that's this one here. Okay, no,
Yeah.
all right. I thought you were doing all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I can proceed with that one if you want, or you can turn it back to the Chair of Finance.
We'll do the finance. That okay? Did you want it through finance, or does it matter?
Doesn't matter?
Doesn't matter? Okay. I'll put the floor back to the Chair. Councillor Brumfield, please.
Okay, thank you. Okay, be it resolved that the town of Happy Valley Goose Bay apply for funding from the Canada Community Building Fund administered by the Department of Municipal and Provincial Affairs to fund the town's share as indicated of the following projects. Number one, bike trails project in the amount of $485,929. Number two, river stabilization project in the amount of $172,250. Number three, Grenfell Road reconstruction project in the amount of $227,563. Number four, road intersection upgrades project in the amount of $158,473. Number five, D42 pump house upgrades project in the amount of $862,038. Loring Drive reconstruction project in the amount of $115,056. Sewage lift station upgrades in the amount of $62,149. Town of Happy Valley Town Office HVAC upgrades in the amount of $40,626.20. Number nine, arena electric panel upgrade in the amount of $13,534.80. And number 10, municipal building snow guards in the amount of $175,824.
Okay, it's been moved by Councillor Broomfield that council apply for funding from the Canada Building Fund administered by Municipal and Provincial Affairs, as noted for the 10 items. We don't require to list those again, I guess, do I? Okay, good. Seconded by Councillor Pomeroy. Discussion? I just have one quick one. Mr. Dillon, in the forms that you gave us here, the cost, for instance, of the bike trail upgrades is the council share is $444,439, and on here is $485,929. Is there? And each of the projects seems to be a bit different. Is there? So if I look at the spreadsheet, Schedule A, 2023-26 Capital Works, the amounts seem to be different. Which ones are?
So what schedule was that, Mayor? Was that
So
the-
I'm looking on Schedule A of the papers that were here on my desk. So if I look at, for instance, I'll just use the bike trail upgrades. Total project of 1.25 million. Council's municipal share is 444,349. Does that represent our share here, which is 485,929, or?
He sent an email today with revised amounts.
Did he? Was this printed out? Okay, I didn't see the email. So Deputy Mayor just said there was an email sent today with revised amounts. Is maybe one not matching the other, like this one ahead of that one, or?
No, that's correct, Mayor. I did have an email saying
Okay.
that these were revised amounts.
Okay, this one here.
But it was also advised that if there's a discrepancy between what the Canada Building
Yeah.
Fund people advised and what was actually in the schedules, they will revise that the new year to make sure.
Okay, so
that
the amounts that were read out
everything's-
are correct.
The amounts that are in the schedules should be correct, but they said if there is some kind of a discrepancy,
Okay.
that they said they will adjust in the new year and.
Yeah, okay. All right,
accordingly.
because like in what we're approving, bike trails upgrade, it's 485, and the schedule is only 444, so that's, 45, almost $40,000 difference, right? And the
Yes.
other projects seem to be, okay. So they'll
Yes,
come
and-
back to
and
us with the right
There might
amounts.
be some issue there with gas tax,
Okay, all right.
and so on, so.
Yep. All right, any further discussion? Excuse me. All those in favor indicate with aye. Excuse me. Contrary-minded? Passed. Okay, so we've got that one taken care of. Now we'll continue with your recommendations, Councillor Palmer, from your committee.
Thank you, Mayor. Multi-year capital works programs. Be it resolved, I guess the town of Hat Valley Goose Bay apply for cost share funding through the 2023-2026 multi-year capital works program with the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure in the amount of $200,000 for fire hall design.
Okay, it's moved by Councillor Pomeroy and the CPD committee that council apply for $200,000 for fire hall design under the 2023-26 multi-year capital works program. Seconded by Councillor Winters. Discussion? Okay, none being heard. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Next one, sir.
Be it resolved to apply for cost-shared funding through the 2023-2026 municipal capital, multi-year capital works program with the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure in the amount of $313,000 for sewage lift station upgrades.
Okay, moved by Councillor Pomeroy and Municipal Services that we apply for the noted program for $313,000 for sewer lift station upgrades. Seconded by Councillor Winters. Discussion? None heard. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed. Next one, sir.
Be it resolved to apply for cost-shared funding through the 2023-2026 multi-year capital works program with the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure in the amount of $1,225,000 for bike trail upgrades.
Okay, it's moved by Councillor Pomeroy that council apply for funding in the amount of $1,225,000 for bike trail upgrades. Seconded by
I'll second that.
Deputy Mayor Wallace. I saw her hand. Sorry, Councillor. Any discussion?
Just point of order, Mayor, there's a typo with
Yeah,
Boyle.
yeah.
It should be Boyle.
Yeah. Boil upgrades, yeah. 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 Any further discussion? I just have one question. Is that just going to be to connect the two, the two round circles at the beginning and the end?
That's the intent, Mayor, but
Okay.
depending upon the actual tender and what the tenders come in at, we'll try to progress as far as we can, but
Yep.
we'll see where that takes us.
Okay, yep.
I got a question, Mayor.
Yep.
Is that widening the trail from one end to the other?
That is stabilizing and widening the trail and so on, putting it in proper condition and pavement also on top of the trail.
That's the previous document, 3 years ago, same tender sort of process?
Okay.
Basically the same
Okay.
tender, with the exception that the gateways have been completed. So we'll see where the inflation takes us with the balance of the project. So hopefully we'll get most of this project completed.
Well, hopefully we'll get it out early enough that there'll be a contractor. There should be lots of paving next year in
We should
Happy
have,
Valley Goose Bay, so
yes.
if we can get positioned, hopefully the province approves the multi-year capital works early enough time that we can get that out before fall kind of deal, so everything's in
Well,
place.
I think for the most part, Mayor, that once this motion goes into the province, that we'll have a quick turnaround on the approval.
Okay.
And the design is basically done for the project, so we can get a fairly early tender called on
Yeah,
this.
'cause
this project.
That seemed to be the issue last time that it was tried, that it was too late in the year, the pavers had moved, had been done for the year.
That was a bit of an issue, and
Yeah.
also the fact that you have two different types of contractors. You had a paving contractor who didn't really want to do the civil works, and
Right,
the
absolutely.
civil people didn't have the paving
Yeah.
ability.
So hopefully we'll be able to get it out early, so it'll be on the table for someone to pick up.
Sure,
Okay, good,
exactly.
excellent. All right, any other discussion on that one? Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed. Next one, sir?
Be it resolved to apply for cost-shared funding through the 2023-2026 multi-year capital works program with the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure in the amount of $1 million for riverbank stabilization.
Okay, it's moved by Councillor Pomeroy and CPD, Municipal Services Committee, that we apply, for infrastructure from TNI for $1 million for riverbank stabilization. Seconded by Councillor Winters. Discussion? None being heard. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed. Next one, please.
Be it resolved to apply for cost-shared funding through the 2023-2026 multi-year capital works program with the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure in the amount of $525,000 for 2025 road resurfacing.
Okay. Moved by Councillor Pomeroy and Municipal Services that we apply for $525,000 for 2025 road resurfacing. Seconded by Councillor Brumfield. Any discussion? So in terms of that, has that been identified, where we will be resurfacing?
Yes, Mayor, the intent is to resurface on Grenfell Street.
Yep.
And hopefully that, I know paving costs have recently, I know in the last couple of years have been, very, very inflationary. So we'll see, hopefully we'll get a lot of this done
Yep.
in
Good.
the next project.
All right. Further discussion? Councillor, or Deputy Mayor Wallace?
Can I confirm also, and just confirm that it's also including Loring Drive as well? Or is that a different list?
Just a different one.
Loring Drive will be a different project.
It's the gas tax money. This one.
Oh, fair.
Okay, no further discussion? Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed. Next one, please.
Be it resolved to apply for cost-shared funding through the 2023-2026 multi-year capital works program with the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure in the amount of $40,000 for municipal arena heating upgrades.
Okay, moved by Councillor Pomeroy and Municipal Services that we apply for $40,000 through the multi-year capital works program for municipal arena heating upgrades. Seconded by
I'll second.
Councillor Winters. I saw his hand. Any discussion? Okay, none being heard. All those in favor indicate with aye.
Aye.
Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed. Next one, please.
Be it resolved to apply for additional cost-shared funding through the 2020-2023 multi-year capital works program with the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure in the amount of $484,869 for D42 pump house upgrades.
Okay, moved by Councillor Pomeroy and Municipal Services that we apply for $484,896 for D42 pump house upgrades. Seconded by Councillor Brumfield. Discussion? Okay, none being heard. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed. Next one, please.
Be it resolved to apply for cost-shared funding through the 2017-2020 multi-year capital works program with the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure in the amount of $319,849 for municipal building snow guards.
Okay, moved by Councillor Pomeroy and Municipal Services Committee that we apply for $319,849 for municipal building snow guards. Seconded by Councillor Winters. Discussion? I know we've been talking about snow guards for a long time. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed. Next one, sir.
Be it resolved to apply for cost-shared funding through the 2014-2017 multi-year capital works program with the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure in the amount of $112,000 for town hall energy efficient upgrades.
Okay, moved by Councillor Pomeroy and the Municipal Services Committee. We apply for $112,000 for town hall energy efficient upgrades. Seconded by
I'll second.
Councillor Compton-Hobbs. Discussion. Okay, all those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed. And even snuck one on the back page.
Be it resolved to apply for additional cost-shared funding through the 2014-2017 multi-year capital works program with the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure in the amount of $246,177 for D42 pump house upgrades.
Okay, it's moved by Councillor Pomeroy and Municipal Services that council apply for funding $246,177 for D42, and that's from the 2014-2007 multi-year capital works program. Is that correct? Okay.
That's correct, Mayor.
Seconded by Deputy Mayor Wallace. Discussion. Okay, is this just a realignment, or do you use the rest of this old one?
It's a partial, it is a realignment, but we're also short on $810,000 also
Okay.
from the previous budgeted
Okay. Yeah.
project. But we also had, it was a realignment in funding. We had some old multi-year capital works programs that we could avail of. So basically, after this realignment, for the most part, most of those programs now will be committed, and for the I think there'll probably be about 200,000 roughly left in the 2023-2026 multi-year capital works program, and all other programs will be fully committed.
Okay. And, yeah, so D42 should be,
D42 hopefully will be, but this is only pre-tender, so we'll see what
okay.
happens at the tender stage. But hopefully, you know, this is a current estimate, and we should be going to tender within a month or so on this.
we'll remain optimistic. Okay, any further discussion on that one? All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Okay, passed.
Okay.
All right.
There's one more.
You have one more? Yep, I'm looking for it.
Multi-year capital works program.
There we go. Yep.
Be it resolved that the Town of Happy Valley Goose Bay requests from the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure that the Schedule A's for the 2014-2017, 2017-2020, 2020-2023, and 23-26 multi-year capital works programs be amended as per the attached recommended revisions.
Okay, it's been moved by Councillor Pomeroy and the Municipal Services that we request from Transportation Infrastructure changes to the schedules as noted for various years and as per the recommended revisions. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Wallace. Discussion? Okay, none being heard. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? We have passed. That's it for you, Richard? Good, okay. All right, Approval of checks, or no, sorry, protective services. Apologize for that. Protective services.
So, I could
Yeah.
speak to that one, Mayor, as the
Okay.
chair was not present at the
Okay.
meeting.
Yep.
So again, Protective Services Committee met during the Committee of the Whole on December 10th. Committee members included myself and Councillor Rumbold. Councillor Compton Hobbs sent regrets that she was out of town. There was no meeting, no new business to discuss, and so there was no discussion really at that part of our committee, and there are no recommendations. So please accept that as a quick report.
Yes, thank you, sir. All right, so moved by Councillor Pomeroy that we accept the Protective Services Committee report as presented. Seconded by Councillor Rumbold. I know I see your hands, so discussion.
Yeah,
Councillor
seconded and discussion.
Yeah.
Just to point out that although we didn't have any official new business, direction was given to staff to do some investigative work for committee in regards to good neighbor bylaws or air pollution bylaws. It was just as a result of previous delegations. We did have brief discussion and direction was given to staff to compile some information for the next committee meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Uh,
Discussion, yep.
Mayor, I just wanted to say that the 3 meetings were held that night, the 3 that I sit on, Protective Services, Community Service and Recreation, and CPD, and I just wanted to say that I know Councilor Palmer just said it, but I was out of town and unable to call in to join the meeting, so that's why I was absent. They were all on one night on the 10th of December.
Yeah, we did this one. And listen, you know, we all have commitments and obligations that we're outside, so yeah, no, absolutely. Okay. No further discussion. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed. Okay. We have, next item on the agenda is approval of checks. Councillor Brumfield.
Okay, thank you, Your Worship. The FAP Committee recommends Council approve checks totaling $429,514.26.
Okay, moved by Councillor Brumfield that, and Finance Admin that we approve checks in the amount of $429,514.26. Seconded by?
I'll second.
Okay, Councillor Compton Hobbs seconds. Discussion?
I haven't seen them, so.
Oh, you haven't
nothing
got
to discuss. I don't
Did
have
you want
a
one?
copy, no.
Oh, it's a cheaper month.
No copy.
I guess that's because of we're a week short from council, I guess, right? It's a cheaper month in terms of it's usually several $100,000 more. Yeah, we're a week early too, so. Any discussion? Did you want a second look down to that, sir? Okay. All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Passed. All right, councillors' forum. I'm going to start with, who am I starting with? Councillor Brumfield.
Thank you, Your Worship. Month of December, we just finished our Christmas parade, our float parade, best decorating, and our tree lighting contest. I'd like to thank our staff for everything they've done to us so far this year. Our year is over and we're going into a new year. I think our staff has been doing a wonderful job and hopefully keep it up and into the new year. On a good note, I'd like to say congratulations to the province this month for renegotiating or doing something with the Churchill Falls contract. Hopefully it gets ratified by all parties, i.e. Quebec and us. Once it does, I'm hoping we can become somewhat of a province out of our financial difficulties, let's say, right? One of these I think we should really, the province should look at once we get into this is, my mother's been in the hospital now for 6 months. Been over there every day and seeing the nurses there working. And I think our province really has to step up to our nurses who recently graduate. And by that I mean, don't offer them a contract for 1 year or 2 year. Offer them a permanent job right out of the get-go, like everyone else has done. That's my take on that one. And I'm keeping it short, and the only other thing I'm gonna say is Merry Christmas, everybody in town and here around staff, and hopefully a prosperous new year.
Thank you, sir. Councillor Compton Hobbs.
Yeah, I wanna thank the staff too, the Santa Claus Parade again, we saw thousands of people out on the side of the road. Exciting night for everybody, the fireworks were amazing. And you know, if you look around the staff, done a lot of that work with the lights on Kinston Park and Husky Park and in the trees and, you know, everything they've done to organize for the tree lighting and so on. So hats off to the staff again this year, great job. You know, if they think they're not getting noticed and thanked for their hard work, they are, because it is a lot of work to get these events prepared. I just want to say, yeah, the announcement from the province, I think is a great announcement, but I'm also ready to sit down with the province and our MHA to, you know, discuss how this may impact Goose Bay, because we know Muskrat Falls certainly impacted our community. And I'll say one big word longer, housing. Housing was crucial, and I'm involved with housing, and I would want to make sure that how this is going to impact us going forward, that doesn't happen again. And I'm a strong advocate for a new fire hall, and I think that should be front and center moving forward with however this unfolds with the province and the town. And, you know, any other impacts that impacted our community after the Muskrat Falls project, and there's many. So I'm looking forward to those discussions, but on the other side of, you know, I'd like to say that this is a great deal in my mind, and see how it unfolds and what's actually printed in the fine print of the MOU. And I want to thank management of the town for all their hard work over the last year. It's been a busy year, and I just want to say Merry Christmas to everybody, and safe, happy holidays.
Thank you, Councillor Compton Hobbs. Councillor Winters.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to reiterate to everybody else, I think the Mr. Schrimpler is going to be receiving a lot of questions over the next little while, and I'd like to say congratulations on the deal. And the list is going to be long. I know Councillor Brofield mentioned the hospital, Councillor Compton Hobbs mentioned housing, but again, the impacts are going to be huge for this community, and we're just looking forward to working with you and your department on working for Happy Valley Goose Bay as basically the unofficial capital of Labrador. In saying that, I'd like to say thanks to the staff for a great year's work. Your work doesn't go unnoticed. And happy holidays and Merry Christmas to everybody.
Thank you. Councillor Rumble, she's smiling at me, so I'll go down that end.
Thank you, Mayor.
And I'm coming your way.
I'll be brief for me. So this is the final, yeah, that's not saying a lot, Hayward. This is the final
okay,
before
Councilwoman?
Christmas meeting of the 13th Council. And I'm going to say the same thing that I have said for the previous 3 years. Unfortunately, this is not the most wonderful time of the year for all. So I feel like it's really important that we say that, because there are friends and neighbors and people out there that we can all lend a hand to. Just asking everybody to be kind, be mindful, help your neighbors. If you are somebody who finds yourself in crisis over the holiday season, please call 811. It's very quick, 3 numbers, and somebody is always there on the other end to help out. But just remember, you are not alone. That is demonstrated over and over and over in our community. We are a very giving community, and we see examples of that all year round. But this time of year, I'm just so proud to see the donations that are given. We've got organizations holding food drives. We've got offices that just have their staff bring in non-perishables. We've had an office that just collected, I think, 175 boxes of cereal. We've got people that are donating turkeys, donating cash, adopting families. So that is one thing that the residents of Happy Valley Goose Bay, I think everybody deserves a pat on the back, because sometimes it's really easy to get bogged down in the negative, and people see our challenges, and we have had those, and I don't dismiss any of the challenges that we've had with public safety and different issues, but people in our town help each other, and we haven't lost that. So I'd like to encourage everybody just to continue to be kind. Retail staff especially deserves kindness at this time of year. Lines are getting a little longer. Something might scan in wrong. Please be kind to the retail staff. Be kind to each other, and look out for one another. Don't drink and drive. There's lots of holiday parties on the go right now. People are celebrating, and the last thing we want is a celebration to turn into a tragedy. So no political stuff for me, just those well wishes, just letting everybody know that we all continue to take care of our neighbors and think of each other. Hats off to our staff who continue to go above and beyond. Our snow clearing staff is getting quite a break right now, but our community services and recreation staff, as it was previously mentioned, putting the lights up at Husky Park and at Kinsman Park, and just everybody take the opportunity, go for a drive with your family, look at the lights. It can be, for some people it's a struggle, for others it's the most wonderful time of the year, but just please, I hope everybody has that opportunity throughout the holiday season to reflect and enjoy. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to all.
Thank you. Councillor Palmer.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Just congratulations to the Premier and his government, MHA Trimper, who's here tonight, on reaching a memorandum of understanding with the province of Quebec regarding Churchill Falls. While this agreement promises to bring much badly needed revenue to the province overall and financial benefits, we must not lose sight of the social impacts that will come with future development on this river. We witnessed firsthand the challenges brought about by the Muskrat Falls project. The environmental review panel review for the Lower Churchill project highlighted several key recommendations to mitigate these impacts, yet many of those concerns remain unaddressed. Panel specifically noted impacts on housing and health services, as has been brought up here tonight. Both Councillor Compton-Hobbs and Broomfield mentioned about housing and the need for more housing and increased health services. Also, gender-based and family violence and substance abuse. So if we consider potential expansion of the Churchill Falls project and construction of Galt Island, it's imperative that we learn from the past and ensure that the social impacts on our town are thoroughly addressed and mitigated. As a council, we should be advocating for a comprehensive funding agreement with the province. This agreement should enable our town to prepare for future developments, increase and maintain capacity, and fund necessary infrastructure upgrades. We can't afford to be overlooked again like we were at Muskrat Falls. We've been traumatized by the experiences of Muskrat Falls, and we're still dealing with the impacts today. And we can't allow that to happen again. And as a council, we need to advocate for the well-being of our community and ensure that the voices of our residents are heard and respected in the planning and execution of these projects. Again, the Joint Environmental Review Panel noted that the need for possible upgrades to the port Happy Valley Goose Bay, the construction of new roads for evacuation purposes, and the effects of additional wear and tear on local roads from heavy truck traffic. It recognized, in addition to infrastructure implications, the project would impose additional administrative requirements on the town of Happy Valley Goose Bay, and recommend that government negotiate a capacity agreement with the town to provide financial resources to help us deal with those demands. The panel also recommended that a binding and firm commitment be given to ensure sufficient funds and resources are available to fully mitigate project-related adverse effects on infrastructure in our community. Again, as I noted, the Muskrat Falls project has had profound impacts on our community. The influx of workers and the rapid changes brought by the project have contributed to a rise in violent crimes, drug and alcohol abuse, family and domestic violence. So with new projects on the horizon, it's safe to say that these issues are not going away. They're actually going to worsen. And to address these challenges it's crucial for the town and the region as a whole to be in a healthy position, supported by Newfoundland Labrador Hydro and by the province. And this support should include increased funding for social services, mental health and addictions programs, and initiatives to combat domestic violence. And there should be a focus on community engagement and building trust between the government, local authorities, and residents. So we got a lot of work to do, and working together is the only way we're going to get it done. Just on a final note, again, like everyone else, I want to thank staff and town employees for all your work this past year for keeping the town running. And also a shout out to council mayor and council members. Might not always agree, but I think we're all on the same page for what we want to do for our community. And so I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. It's your turn.
Yeah, well done. Thank you, everyone.
Deputy Mayor Wells.
I will be brief. Thank you to the staff of the town, staff and management of the town of Happy Valley Goose Bay. We do appreciate everything you do. And yeah, I will be brief. Wishing everyone a very wonderful holiday season, a safe and happy new year, and looking forward to 2025. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm going to change up a bit. I'm going to thank the 6 people that sit around the table with me. Tonight we've engaged in our 70th public meeting in terms of council public meetings. Probably about 470 in total. But yeah, as Councillor Pomeroy alluded to, sometimes we all have differences of opinions and different ideas and things, and that we go. But we, I have to say, I've been involved in a couple or 3 councils now. If you look at the attendance in terms of this particular council, it's, in my opinion, extraordinary. There isn't very many meetings that we've seen that somebody has just not attended. You know, it's usually if you're out of town or you have a commitment work-wise or something like that, and that's to be expected. But the amount of time that we collectively as a group have spent around this table is tremendous, and so thank you for that. The couple of things I want to send condolences to Councillor Winters and his family for passing of Mary Ann Doucette. Her husband was a long-time employee with the town. I actually saw him today, and I passed condolences along from the town. Very special lady, and very sad to see that she's gone. So to your family, sir, I pass condolences along. Committees will change, and how we deliver business at council will change in the new year. We have a new Municipalities Act. Finally, our 1999 Act is going to be going by the wayside. So, you know, maybe this one will be, you know, updated a little bit quicker. But so committees structure is going to change a little bit. So you'll see some news coming out about that to the public. Our bus is slowly coming. The wheels on the bus aren't going round right now, but they will be in a little bit. I had the privilege to meet with a gentleman who's had impact on a lot of people in town over the last few days, and that I told him I was going to mention him here this evening, and that's Henry White. Henry has advised me that he'll be closing his barbershop before the end of this year and won't continue his business. So I just wanted to send a shout out. That's another long-term person who's been involved, like I say, with a lot of people, a lot of kids, a lot of adults, a lot of men, predominantly for haircuts, and I know into the long-term care, and he does a lot of visiting for seniors and things like that. So I want to thank him for that and wish him all the best in his next chapter. Thanks to those who've done all the hamper work and continue to do the food bank. It's a stressful time for a lot of folks, so I want to thank those as well. We had the pleasure of going to do a birthday party at the long-term care facility, and it was really great, especially it was Christmas, but it was kind of a birthday and Christmas at the same time, so we had a ball. It was great to see. They enjoyed the time, and yeah, I think that was great. Finally, for me, Merry Christmas to all the staff. You've been thanked. We can't say thank you enough to everybody from, you know, all of the departments. I don't want to mention anybody in particular because I'm afraid I'll miss somebody. But if you do just take that drive, the work that CSR has done, the group with the lights and stuff like that, the no snow, just makes it even better in my opinion. But thanks to everything, for everything that you do. And that's, that comes from a lot of people. All the residents love the lights, and thank you to the office staff as well, because what you guys are doing is great. My last comments are going to be around the deal. I'm glad to see. I think it's an accomplishment that hopefully can be, in April or May, whenever the final deadlines, I guess, for signing the I's and T's. I hope it works that where we are with the announcement. I reached out to the Premier, and unfortunately I couldn't go to the announcement here because I was sick as a dog. I did reach out to the Premier, and I did say, congratulations, thank you for that work, because it is huge. That amount of money represents money that doesn't have to come from our pockets, and doesn't have to come from our programs, doesn't have to come from cost restraints and cutbacks and not having enough money. I listened to one of the economists, I guess, and what he mentioned was that this announcement outshadows the oil industry in the province, and that was fantastic. Great opportunity. I also asked the Premier to ensure that our community, more specifically, Happy Valley Goose Bay, we're 100 miles from the next project. We underwent a lot of change. I remember when Gilbert Bennett would tell us that his project, which was the Muskrat Falls project, wasn't going to impact our town, and he would continuously say that. And several times, in a nice way, he was told he was out to lunch. Well, we've seen Muskrat Falls now go by the wayside, and we've seen what the impact is. I think this year, this project, it's going to be incumbent upon the people that sit around this table. So the next town council, us to start, but it'll be the next town council that will really have a lot of work to do to make sure that government's toes are kept to the fire, and that there's a fund of some kind, whether it's capacity building or some kind of arrangement, that ensures that this community and others, regions of Labrador, receive what's just and due. And I think that we should reach out to certain groups in town, like the Chamber and other groups, and get a group sitting around the table to brainstorm, because this is an opportunity that we as a community and as a region can't turn down. We can't let this one go, with nothing. The money is different in this particular project, and we all understand what needs to be done, and I think collectively we need to get together and put an ask, and it'll stop that we need this and we need this and we need this, but I think it needs to be a strategic initiative from groups within our town that we do brainstorm, and that will definitely set the agenda forward in terms of our ask. And it shouldn't be an ask, it should be, what we deserve. We shouldn't be dealing with certain situations without being funded. And I remember last year, I think we got 2 years of extended, a couple of $100,000 a year extended capacity through the municipal operating grant. I think that was about it. And we have a huge opportunity, and we have to seize it. So I challenge those that will sit around this table next time to keep that in mind. So that'll be crucial, absolutely crucial, because there's not many more of these big opportunities on the forefront. With that, I'd just like to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Please don't drink and drive. That's my pet peeve. Be kind to each other and help someone where you can. Would you like to say something, ma'am?
I'd just like to remind residents to please vote for our Winter Lights contest. It went out today. It's open until Thursday, so a lot of great opportunities there for winners of our residential. We had no nominations for a commercial, but if you see somebody that's great, certainly send it along into dircsr@townhpgb.com, and perhaps we can give them a shout out at a later time.
Absolutely.
And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, stay safe.
Thank you. Ms. Eddy? No? Mr. Dillon?
Sure, I'd just like to wish council and town staff and town residents a very safe and happy Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Thank you. Ms. Val, anything? Okay. One other thing I forgot to mention is that I want to wish best to Greg Osmond. Greg was our community development officer, and it's our loss, but it's the gain of Marystown. I guess he's going to be the new CAO in Marystown, so I want to wish him great. He left kind of quick, but opportunity knocks, and he finally got his budget, I think budget or U-Haul rental sorted out, and he's moved on. So I want to thank him for all the work that he's done, and wish him the best in his future endeavors. With that, if there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion from Councillor Rumbaugh to, Councillor Rumbaugh to adjourn the meeting, and seconded by Councillor Compton Hobbs. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate with aye. Aye. Contrary-minded? Meeting is closed.